Hi, I'm Will.
And I'm Crystal.
And this weekend we turn 9 years old as a church.
Happy birthday, Two Rivers Church.
Well, back in September of 2012, we began holding launch team meetings at the Shenango Town Hall. And an amazing group of 35 people joined the team to transform the world by leading people to Jesus. During this time, we'd drive around the city of Binghamton, seeing broken lives and broken spaces, realizing how the Northeast is in much need of restoration. In our launch team meetings, we began to talk to the team about transforming the world. Not only people's lives, but the community around us would be changed as we led people to Jesus.
On February 24th, 2013, we launched at Regal Cinemas with over 300 people in the room. That first year, we averaged around 140 to 150 people in attendance. We hustled like crazy doing movie church. We spent our time setting up and tearing down each week. We actually spent more time transforming the environment for church than actually having church. In those 3 years, we grew to a church that averaged around 200 people each week.
In year 2016, we outgrew our theater space, so we moved to the Conklin Ave First Baptist Church. We quickly realized that we needed to make room for the next generation. So we asked people to give their money and sacrifice and service in order to transform the kids' facilities that were broken and in desperate need of repair. People spent their money and their time and their sweat restoring a broken facility in order to lead kids to Jesus. In that same year, we launched City Reach Endicott, sending money and people to see what God would do if we would seek first the kingdom of God.
In 2017, we moved again and landed at the Boys and Girls Club on Clinton Street. By this time, we were averaging around 220 to 240 people per week. This began a miraculous run. When we moved, we were out of money, and we spent the last of what we had to purchase chairs so we could sit in the gymnasium of the Boys and Girls Club. Today, we are all sitting in someone else's sacrifice. Literally, our Cortland location is sitting on chairs that were purchased with the last of what we had. Nevertheless, God began to supernaturally provide. While at the Boys and Girls Club, we were given the Portland and Corning facilities. What an amazing gift from God. But true to form, those facilities were also in desperate need of restoration.
To kick off Easter of 2018, we moved into our first permanent facility in Binghamton. A facility that had been flooded twice and again was in desperate need of repair. One more time, we rolled up our sleeves and spent ourselves transforming this facility so that we could create a life-giving environment. It was a busy year as we closed City Reach Endicott, sent a launch team to begin the process of planting Ignite Church, and folded the Men's Hope Home into the newly created Hope Foundation of Binghamton. That summer, we renovated Cortland and Corning, risking it all, spending our last dollars, sending people, and going into debt in Binghamton so that people in Cortland and Corning could come to know Jesus. That fall, we launched Vast Church in Gloversville, Two Rivers Cortland, and Two Rivers Corning. Over the year, our attendance doubled, growing to an average of 500 to 600 people per week.
In Easter 2019, we launched Two Rivers Ithaca, setting our all-time record attendance that Sunday with over 1,400 people in attendance in all our plants and locations. Later in the year, we attempted our first microsite location in Gloversville after closing Vast Church. The Gloversville microsite experiment lasted 3 to 4 months before closing, but a vision was birthed that has been evolving into the concept for what we now call extension sites. Extension sites will be video-driven experiences that will be leveraged to reach small towns, prisons, hard-to-reach places, and niche communities.
The year 2020 introduced us to COVID, and we temporarily closed our doors at all of our locations. We embraced church online before reopening our doors for in-person services the first weekend in June. We purchased the facility in Binghamton and paid off the debt from the launch of Cortland and Corning. We also began the process of rebuilding our teams, and average attendance began to climb slowly, only to be disrupted over and over again by COVID restrictions. In December of 2020, we closed our Ithaca location, merging them with Cortland.
In 2021, we paused the Men's Hope Home programming to reset the program and align in a way that we can start men's homes around the state. We began the process of acquiring a loan that would allow us to fully renovate the 40,000 square foot facilities in Binghamton. By faith, we began work on the 7,000 square foot Women's Hope Home, and in September of 2021, after 2 years of development, we launched Ignite Church in Endicott.
In January of 2022, we planted Vision Church in Cortland. This year, we're working hard to relaunch the Men's Hope Home and launch the Women's Hope Home in order to restore and transform broken lives. Additionally, after years of spending all we have to invest in other places and spaces, we've begun the process of investing $1.4 million via a loan into the Binghamton location to renovate the still incomplete facility, further enhancing our ability to serve as a Binghamton broadcast location that will be equipped to help us launch locations all around the Northeast for years to come. In fact, later this year, we plan to launch our first extension site in Syracuse.
In 9 years, we have been faithful to the mission to transform the world by leading people to Jesus. We are celebrating over 3,220 salvations during our time as a church. We continue to plant churches, leverage our finances to support missionaries, serve our communities, become a church that would be missed if we were no longer in our neighborhood. For 9 years, we have been rebuilding broken lives and restoring spaces to redeem them so that our world can be transformed. 9 years in, and it feels like we're just getting started.